educate, encourage, empower, equip with the Way Beyond Measure podcast. Hey guys, what's going on? Coach Verdu with your Way Beyond Measure podcast, an educational tool to help you grow in every aspect of your life. And I promise you today, you will not be disappointed. I have Travis on the line, and no, we are not brothers. He's way better looking than me, and he's probably taller too, which is just unbelievable. So if you like Mr. Clean, you get two of us today. Two of us, Mr. Clean. Yeah, we're going to have a great time. Hey, guys, don't forget to like us, subscribe, get on YouTube, do all the things you need to do. Get us into your community. We are an educational specialist. We go into schools and do character development programs that make a difference. We're an award-winning program. We go into hundreds of schools a year. Get us to your school. Watch what happens. It's amazing. So let's get down to it. I met Travis about a week ago, and he started talking to me about farming and planting and prepping and helping and serving. And you know what? I don't even know. Let's just get him on the stage. You guys, Travis Holzem. Travis, what is up?
How you doing, David? Thanks for having me. Looking forward to
Travis, it. Man. So we talked before we jumped on the air about your title. Listen, I don't like, but Travis, what did you say you were like? Don't use the I'm just a farm builder. Tell me what you would prep something. Go ahead.
Food forest design specialist or food forest designer. Basically permaculture designer. There's things you could call it, but it's all about design science and designing ecosystems. Basically, that's
that is so awesome. So when we go into schools and do our character educational program, what during those 2 days would you be able to bring to the nutritionist or to the botanist people or people that are trying to are we helping design gardens and stuff for communities or something? Just tell me what it would be like if you were to join Way Beyond Measure for 2 days. What would you be teaching? What would you be showing the schools and whomever in the community?
Basically, when we go into a school, we are going in to transform their property into a food forest and teach the children in all grade levels how to become self-sustainable and how to grow food. And pretty much when you do this, you're developing life skills, right? Learning sustainability in elementary school. You're doing your gardening, your composting, and food preservation, all that. Then you're connecting to nature. All these kids need to start getting connected back to nature. You're developing healthy habits, teaching responsibility. And when you are involved in permaculture, you have to use critical thinking. And you're teaching these kids to use their brains. And then they build resilience. And you're also, it's social and emotional learning. And that's great for kids' mental health these days to, get their hands dirty, get their hands in the dirt. And it, promotes creativity and basically helps children connect with their community and prepares children for the future. And, they learn a skill that they can take with them anywhere they go.
That's powerful, man. Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown? We talked about hydroponics. I know that that's an upper hydroponics, water, fish, but above they're doing lettuce or what have you. And
yeah.
I know nothing about that, by the way. I'm trying to make myself sound really amazing, but I have no freaking clue. what's the difference between the hydro and what you're going to teach? Because what we want to do is we want those schools to be self-sustained,
Exactly.
community involvement, our TAPS, we've talked about it, our teachers, administration, and parent support. This is all part of that. Listen, we want to grow a community that can be self-sufficient and, listen, healthy, Travis, not just food, but in your brain and mind, spirit, and stuff. So explain to us what's the process. I don't even know if you can get it in, but whatever. What's the process?
I'll try to get in quick. Now, basically, when you are okay, you have hydroponics. That's water and whatever containers you're using, but you're growing with water. You can do that indoors, outdoors, uh, wherever you want. Okay, when we're talking food forest design, okay, generally we recognize 7 layers of a food forest. Okay, so when we're designing an ecosystem to be regenerative and self-sufficient and less maintenance than that lawn that used to be there before you put your food forest in. Okay, so we start with the overstory, which is your canopy layer, which could be your apple tree or a nut tree or peach, pears, lemons, limes, depending on where you live and what kind of climate you live in. Okay, so you have your canopy level and then your subcanopy, which would be dwarf fruit trees and berry bushes and some of those medium-sized trees. And then we get your shrub layer, which could be also berries. And then we get to your herbaceous layer where you have your herbs. And then we have your rhizomes, which is all your tubers, your radishes, your sweet potatoes, and all those types of veggies. And then we have your layers, 6 layers, your soil cover, which could be clovers and other types of, creeping thyme. And then we have layer 7, which is your vine layer. So your grapes and your kiwis and stuff. So when we plant out your food forest, we're planting a guild. So every time we put a fruit tree in the ground, we are also planting it out with some friends and a community. I just explained the 7 layers of food forest. We're doing different plants, fruits, herbs, vegetables that all get planted in a group, in a community, and now they all work together. Now, just to explain how that would work, there is a plant called comfrey, and you plant comfrey in your guild, and what happens, it has a it's called a dynamic accumulator, and it has a very, very long root that goes 7, 8, 9 feet down into the soil. Well, your fruit tree has a small root system. They don't go very deep, so it can't reach down into the soil to get those nutrients. So comfrey, the taproot in that, takes up all the nutrients and minerals from the soil, and as it grows, it's in the DNA of the plant. So your stems, your trunk, your leaves, your flowers all have all the nutrients from below. It also attracts all your big bumblebees and your butterflies and all that for pollination. But then as it gets mature, you chop it down and you use it as mulch, a live mulch everywhere. So now all the minerals and nutrients from down below, everything else can't get, is now in this top of the soil, breaking down and becoming part of that soil. So you're building soil naturally. So there's no need for fertilizers and chemicals and pesticides, herbicides. Everything's planted out to help with all that stuff.
Dude, I'm hungry right now. So we go in to a school and we spend a couple days, okay, sharing, showing, leaving designs. We can't be there for weeks. It's just not feasible. Are we going to be able to go into a school and get things done and get at least a mini prep within 2 days?
Oh, easily, easily. You can use raised garden beds, which you can have a 4 foot by 8 foot garden bed and fill it with all the soil and its amendments, and then the children could start growing. That within those 2 days, you could actually set that up with the kids. Each class that came and learned could fill up their own raised bed. Each class would be able to plant their own things and then kind of watch them as they grow so they can see the life cycle of how things are planted, what you do to put the right soil in there, the right amendments to help whatever you're planting grow. Things are different. Blueberries like
Oh,
acidic soil. So you have to put different nutrients in the hole with the plant so to help it
right.
thrive.
So what we need to do is we need to write how to get it done. Sorry. I mean, we really do. We can't just go in 2 days and say, hey, there'll be tons of phone calls and emails, which is fine.
Yeah.
But if we leave them a step-by-step process, which we'll have to work on, I could see it being an app. I could see it. There's just so much, dude. Way beyond measure is exactly that. It's too much. It's like, what do you guys do? Let's say, well, if it's educational, I guess the question is what do we don't do? We
Yeah,
don't
I
leave,
hear that.
right? We don't leave people high and dry, and we don't leave them hungry. If we just talk about the problem remains. That's why I don't go in and talk about bullying and suicide. We talk about character and what does that look like? Same thing. We have a bunch of children that I've seen it. I'm telling you right now, the rural places, this will be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because I talked to some of the parents and students, or not parents, but students and the teachers, and these kids are only getting breakfast and lunch. They go home. So we started a thing and would be tying in perfectly with Travis. It's called the Backpack Friday. So we find these families that have the least. There are still out there, okay? No judging, no nothing. And on Friday, 60 to 75 students from elementary all the way to K 12th grade. The school picks them. And if there's more kids, we get another backpack. They bring their backpack back on Wednesday and we fill it full of food they can just pull and eat. No heating, nothing. Backpack Friday. We tell those kids with their family members, this is your food. It's for you and your brothers. Your parents already have the note. This is your food. You want to share with your family? Do it. We are trying to instill to let them know that we're not judging or anything. We want to help them. But what would it be like? Or say, well, first question, how long we plan everything? When are we eating? I don't know the cycle. I mean,
Yeah, that just depends what you plant. If you are planting a fruit tree, depending on how mature the tree is, you can buy them small, which you're gonna have to wait a couple of years, right?
right.
Or you can buy some that are a couple of years old already, are in your 8 to 10 feet, 12 feet tall. They're really skinny, tall and skinny, but they will bear fruit probably that season or the next. So you're going to be within a year of having fruit. I've never put one in the ground that was a mature that did not fruit the following spring. So
check it.
that gets you to food faster, but your vegetables are always going to take. You're going to plant them in the spring,
5
and
months.
they're going to take a few months. 90 days.
But that's in a year. I mean, I love that. So, can you imagine being in third grade and you and your couple buddies, you guys planted that, and you come back your ninth grade year, Do you
Pick an
claim that,
apple off the tree,
claim that as your, that's my tree. See, and then you become our age. You go back to the school. I'm just saying, what do we leave? So I talk about so in high school, it's called be the difference. What are you leaving? What is your legacy? I tell them, cut up a piece of the sidewalk and get your initials in there, class of whatever.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true.
like yours better. Plant a freaking tree, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because what you were talking about, a backpack for the kids, right? You could plant a food forest on the grounds of the school because it's all pretty much all grassy or whatever. It's just not being used for anything. So you plant out a food forest on the entire property, then you're going to provide, the kids will have an abundance of food. There's all the kids will have healthy lunches every single day
And
from,
they're taken care of. What a
and yeah,
joy. It
everybody
tastes
is a community. Yep.
You ever plant something and it tastes better?
But it always tastes better
Why?
because there
Why?
is, you grew it and it's locally grown.
Right, but it's here.
Yep. Yep.
I did that. I put
Yeah, that's
little
exactly
tiny
right.
seed, and then you eat. You're like, oh, look what
But
I
then when you have
planted.
an entire
Isn't it?
community
Wow.
feeling that same way, and everybody will be a lot healthier by doing that because it's all that food is
What?
100% nutritional value coming from that food instead of
Come on.
something coming from 1,800 miles away, right? Sprayed with chemicals, and there's no nutritional value.
Come on.
So,
Here's what I also see. So some of these kids, okay, they're going to want to say, ooh, I want to do this at home. We got you. We're going to do a different series. So I mean, obviously, the younger dudes illustrations, of what it looks
mhm.
like. So we'll have somebody do an illustration of how to, and we'll have cartoons and we'll do a process. And then middle school, we'll do anime. And then high school, probably anime again, because they love that stuff. But whatever, you know what I mean? So that they can take something and bring it home. Because it's not just the schools, it's your house, it's your church, your community. What if you're, I don't know, a mayor of a small town? I know lots of mayors of tiny towns, and you go, no way, that's not the mayor. Yeah, he's the mayor.
And I'd love to have 5 minutes with every single one of them.
Dude, I met an 8-year-old mayor. It's freaking best. Fat. He's 8 years old. He's ran twice and he finally won. And
Wow.
he's changing things. He's 8. He's really changing things, and his brother's younger than him is campaign manager.
Oh
What?
my God.
Dude,
That
didn't you
has to be
go on
awesome.
YouTube? You go on YouTube and find out the young mayor, the little
I'll
mayor.
have to check that out.
Holy
That's great.
mackerel. And he is like in a little time. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. Just call me. I'm like, oh
Yeah, I thought my friend was young. My friend was mayor of the city I raised my kids in at 25 or 26. And I thought that was young, but 8? Oh, crazy.
he just nothing's changing. I'm going to do it. This is so very, very, very cool. If you guys take a look at the bottom of the screen, it says foodforestabundance.com. That
No,
is,
don't go to that one.
oh, jeez. Sorry. I'm going to exit that one.
Food Forest Design MN.com. Food Forest
All right.
Design
We're gonna
Minnesota.com.
rewrite it. But here is his email address, Travis at foodforestabundance.com.
Yes.
And we're going to create one more banner for his website. And his website is called what?
Food Forest Design MN.com. So Food Forest Design Minnesota.
Food Forest Design, MS,
MN, MN for Minnesota. Yeah.
.com.
.com. Yes.
All right, let's see if this is right. Maybe. We're going to find out.
Yeah, right.
Ow. Show it. Let's see it. Is that it? Can you read it? Oh, you can't see it, huh?
I can't see it. But I am looking at my website right now.
Food Forest Design, MN.com. Please go to his website, find out how you can start your prep. How, where, raise garden beds, everything. We are going to be working diligently, Travis and I, on a book so that we can get it to you so that you can, in your own home, be self-sustained. Also, your church, also your community, also your school. Sky's the limits. Let's teach people to be the best that they can be. And I think that's just amazing. So let's keep going here. I still have Travis for a few more minutes. Travis, give me some of the things that have been so dynamic in your life that you've been able to do with your food forest. What are some of the things you've been able to do with food forest and such?
I've been on in a documentary called Creating Abundance in Your Backyard. And on the front page of my website, if you scroll down, you'll see that video. Okay, Jim Gale and I, we drove down to Austin, Texas, and we installed a food forest in the studio grounds of the High Wire show. It's a podcast that comes on once a week. And during the installation of food forest on their property, they filmed us for 4 or 5 days to show a transformation, a lawn transformation. And then they launched us on Earth Day to the world, and it was off and running. And then about 6 months later, I had the opportunity to go down to Bastrop, Texas, to film a TV pilot for another show, and we installed a food forest in a celebrity's the back of his house on his 22-acre ranch. And we had 30 installers from around the country come in that never installed a food forest before. They wanted to be part of what we were building, and they wanted to learn how to design or install food forests. So they flew to Texas, and I think we had 30. And we transformed this entire backyard it was started on Monday. We wrapped up on Wednesday afternoon. 30 people came in. We transformed the backyard. We put in a medicine circle, medicine wheel, which the celebrity's fiance was studying Chinese herbal medicine. So she wanted an area in her backyard to grow all those herbs and have a meditation area and somewhere to think and somewhere to learn. And so we transformed part of the yard into that. And then we also put in a vineyard so they can have grapes. And we put like 40 or 50 grapevines in, and then we made trellises and that part of the yard. And then we put a food forest in another part of the yard with, I think, 50 fruit trees and then a bunch of supporting plants and trees with that. And then an old horse barn transformed from into a cantina that they can host people. But outside the cantina, we had desert type plants and succulents just to give it a nice look. And then we had some, I think it was Spanish grapes. It was a plant that does well, a fruit tree that does well in desert climates. So everything was for the soils and stuff down there, depending on what part of the property we designed. And did this with these 30 people. Not one person argued the entire time. And it was like nothing. I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now, because it showed community and how everybody was just trying to accomplish one goal, and that was to transform this property into what we turned it into, and it was a big undertaking. I was driving all around Texas to get trees and lumber to build trellises and cable and all kinds of stuff. So we didn't know anybody down there other than the celebrity. So we had to make this all happen. And that would be by far one of the best overall days. But I've also done it on a small scale with a tiny home village last spring, where all the owners of the tiny home village came together and planted out the design we made for their property. And so, and it's just fun because nobody argues. It's just, what do you want me to do? Where do you need me to go? Where do you want me to plant this? Or whatever. And everybody asks questions. Nobody argues. And it's amazing how much community that growing food builds.
This is really, I'm telling you, Travis, you're on to something that is very amazing. I'm waiting for spring. I'll get your butt out here and help me build something. I'd love it. I'd love it. I am not a green thumb. However, with the simple step-by-step process that Travis is going to be coming up with, and we're going to be helping, you'll be able to do it. I mean, if we can teach kindergartners, we got you. I'm telling you, it's going to be.
When I design a property, someone's home, I'm designing it with the intention of them doing it themselves. So when I don't just deliver the blueprint itself, I deliver a step-by-step narrative of their design, their property, their history, sun, wind, rain, everything to do with their property, all the data. And then I give it to them so they can do it themselves. Or if they don't want to, they can definitely hire me to do it, because I'm the professional at doing this. I know where to get all the trees. I know where I know where to do everything, get everything, and get the job done. So, which is easier if you want to be hands off. But like I said, it's designed with the intention that you can do it yourself. So it's always, you're leaving it with them, So
that's so good. That is so good. Listen, this has been one of the funnest podcasts to learn how to grow our own food. Way beyond measure is going. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going way beyond measure with not just spiritual, not just physical, but everything, mental, all of it, so that we can have a productive life. Travis, you've been amazing, man. I really appreciate you. I need you to hang out after the show so we can talk a minute. You guys, Travis Holzem, go to his website, go to his travis@foodforestabundance.com, or go to his website, which is foodforestdesignmn.com. You're awesome, dude. I appreciate you very much. And hold the line right there. I'll be right back with you. Are you that? I can't even talk. I'm hungry for good food now. That's what we do. We want you to eat good food. We want you to read good books. We want you to see good things. It's all about doing the right thing. Don't forget, guys, we are at waybeyondmeasure.com. Come and check us out. I will have Travis podcast on our link. I will have Travis's information on our website. as well. Continue to tune in to Way Beyond Measure, an educational podcast. We appreciate you guys so very, very much. Until next time, I'm Coach Verdu.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us today and for your ongoing support. You can follow us on LinkedIn at hashtag Way Beyond Measure, or otherwise by searching for Coach David Verdu. That's V as in victory, ERDU. You can also contact us directly online at waybeyondmeasure.com to book Coach Verdu for an upcoming event. His energy and message is absolutely next level. We look forward to spending time with you next week as we continue to discuss character development and other topics guaranteed to push you way beyond measure.